All right, let's dive in. Today, we're going to tackle prepositions of direction. Now, I know they're small words, but they are absolutely essential for showing movement and, giving our language a clear path forward. So, let's get started.
You know that moment when you pause, wondering if you should use in or into? Or maybe the difference between across and through has tripped you up before? Trust me, you are not alone. This explainer is going to make these concepts crystal clear.
So, what's the main job of these little words anyway? Before we get into all the specifics, let's start with the absolute basics to build a really solid foundation for understanding them. Think of these words as like the GPS for your sentences. Seriously, they don't just tell you where something is, they show you the path it's taking, the actual journey from one point to another. Every single journey has a beginning and an end, right? So let's look at the two prepositions that handle this perfectly, the start and the finish. It's actually super simple when you see them side by side. From is your origin, it's where you begin. To is your destination, it's where you're headed. They're the perfect opposites that bookend any kind of movement. Let's just break these down for a sec. She came from Japan tells us her journey's starting point was Japan. A letter from my friend means the friend is the source, the origin of that letter. And the bus goes from the station clearly marks the station as the start. See? Each one pinpoints the beginning. And on the flip side, to points us directly to the destination. School, the park, a new city. These are all the endpoints of the actions. So now that we've got the start and end points locked down, what happens when a journey involves, crossing some kind of boundary? Right. So what about when our movement involves crossing a boundary? Think about a doorway or a box or pretty much any kind of enclosed space. Okay, so here's the key idea. It's all about the change in location relative to some kind of enclosure. Into is for entering and out of is for exiting. One is going in, the other is coming out. Simple as that. Can you picture the movement here? The cat was outside the box and then boom, it was inside. He was maybe in the hallway, then in the room. Into perfectly captures that exact moment of entry. It's all about the action. And here we have the exact opposite. He was in the house, now he's out. The bird was stuck in the cage, now it's flying free. Out of shows the action of leaving that enclosed space. Okay, so we've covered the start and the end, and we've talked about entering and exiting. But what about the actual path you take in between those points? Think of across as traveling over, like a two-dimensional surface. You're moving on top of it, from one edge to the other. A perfect way to picture this is a bridge, a road, or a big open field. So in these examples, the dog is on the surface of the road, right? We're on the surface of the bridge. And I love this last one. A smile moves on the surface of a face. That's the key to across. It's all about moving from one side to another on a surface. Now, through is totally different. This is for moving within a three-dimensional space, an area that's all around you. You are literally inside it while you're moving. So think about walking through a forest with trees on all sides, or driving through a tunnel. See the pattern? The river is flowing within the city's boundaries. The car is physically inside the tunnel. We were surrounded by trees as we walked through the forest. That's the huge difference. Across is over a surface, but through is inside a space, a volume. All right, you've got the main ideas down. So let's put that new knowledge to the test, and we'll look at a couple of common mistakes to really make sure this all sticks. Okay, this is a classic mix-up. So why is the first one wrong? Well, in just describes a location, right? It's static. Saying I am in school is totally correct if you're already there. But if you're talking about the action of getting there, you need to show movement towards that destination. And that's why we always say, I go to school. And here's another perfect example of location versus action. In the box just tells us where he is, but into the box, that describes the actual movement of going from outside to inside. So if there's an action, an entry, into is your go-to word. Now this one's really interesting because check this out. Neither of these is a mistake. They're both 100% correct, but they mean completely different things. It just goes to show you how one tiny word can change the whole story. She came to Japan means Japan was her destination. She came from Japan means it was her starting point. See, it's all about context. And here you go. This is your cheat sheet. This boils everything down to the most basic idea. If you're ever stuck, just picture these arrows. Are you talking about a destination? It's to. A starting point? From. Going inside something? Into. It's such a great little mental shortcut. And this is brilliant. It shows how all these little words work together to tell a full story. We start with from, my house. That's the origin. We have a destination, to the park. We pass within a space, so we go through the gate. And finally, there's that action of entering, throwing the ball into the pond. Every single word adds another precise layer to the journey. Okay, you've seen the definitions, you've seen the examples, you've even seen the common mistakes. You now have all the tools you need to describe any journey with way more precision and confidence. So here's a final thought I want to leave you with. Think about your daily commute, or even just a walk to the store. How would you describe it using these words? I'm serious. Putting it into your own life is the absolute best way to make it stick. You're totally ready to master direction in every sentence you make.